The story begins with Churan, a scriptwriter who works for a publishing company. One day, her boss gives her a novel called The Devil's Beloved Consort and orders her to read the entire book overnight and prepare a script review by the next morning. As Churan struggles through the novel, her coworker wishes her an early happy birthday before leaving, since it is almost midnight. Half-jokingly, Churan makes a wish, saying that if she could enter the world of the novel herself, she would understand the story much better. Later, while rushing to catch the last metro home before midnight, she continues reading the book. The moment the clock strikes 12 and a birthday notification appears on her phone, something unbelievable happens. Time suddenly freezes. Everyone around her stops moving, and the novel slips from her hands. The pages begin flipping on their own, releasing a mysterious force that pulls her straight into the world of the novel. Shocked, Churan quickly realizes she has become Yu, one of the story's villains. Even worse, Yu is the king's consort and is destined to die alongside him at the end of the novel. According to the original plot, the male lead, Prince Duan, and the female lead, Shi Yang, will eventually overthrow the tyrant king, and Yu will be buried alive with him. Knowing the entire storyline, Churan immediately decides that she must change her fate and survive. That very night, she is summoned to serve the infamous Mad King, a ruler hated throughout the kingdom. Unfortunately, before she can even settle into her new life, the king becomes annoyed by her awkward behavior and orders his guards to execute her. Terrified, Yu desperately begs for a chance, and surprisingly, the king dismisses the guards and allows her to stay. As she approaches him, she is stunned by how handsome he is, wondering why the novel's author made even the villainous king look so attractive. Then, something catches her attention. The king casually calls her, "Hey, you," using a strangely modern expression that feels completely out of place in this ancient world. Suspicious, Yu decides to test him and boldly asks, "Your Majesty, how are you?" To her surprise, the king instantly replies, "Fine, thank you, and you?" The answer leaves both of them stunned. The king, whose name is Xiao Hudan, is actually a modern man who has also been transported into the novel. Overjoyed to finally meet someone from the same world, he almost tears up with relief. After discovering that they are both modern people trapped inside the novel, the king takes Consort Yu back to his residence and starts questioning her. He asks when she arrived in this world, and Yu explains that it happened only a short while ago while she was reading the novel on the metro. As the clock struck midnight on her birthday, she was suddenly transported into the story. Curious, she asks the king the same question, and he reveals that he arrived just 2 hours earlier. He complains about a terrible headache, wondering if it is a migraine or even a brain tumor, and worries that he might not survive. At the same time, he admits that he understands nothing about this ancient world, though being the king at least gives him some advantages. However, Yu quickly bursts his bubble and tells him that he is actually a terrible king. She explains that in the original novel, the king suffers from a serious illness, which is probably why his headaches are so severe. Worse still, according to the story, he is destined to die soon. Since they do not know exactly where they are in the plot, they must be extremely careful. Yu then reveals the king's tragic future. His stepmother hates him and wants him dead. His younger brother is far more capable and also wants to replace him, and all the loyal ministers have either been exiled or turned against him. Minister Su, for example, deeply resents him after being banished. The entire kingdom despises him because of his reckless behavior and reputation as a drunken ruler. Yu also points out that once the king dies, she will share the same fate, because she is one of the story's villains and will be buried alive alongside him. Then she drops another shocking revelation. The female lead, Shi Yung, is secretly in love with Prince Dan, the king's brother, and Prince Dan is the one destined to kill him. Hearing all this, the king nervously asks what they should do. Yu confidently says that since she knows the entire plot, they need to work together and carefully change the story's events. After all, Prince Don may be a powerful character inside the novel, but unlike him, they both come from the modern world and have knowledge that can help them survive. The next day, the king immediately promotes Yu from an ordinary concubine to a higher-ranked consort. To begin testing the people around them, Yu organizes a special gathering. She secretly instructs eunuch Anne to prepare everything according to her plan. The king has 6 wives in total, 3 concubines and 3 consorts, and among them is the prestigious noble consort. During the event, the female lead, Shi Yong, is present. Since Yu and the king suspect that someone else from the modern world may have entered the novel, they decide to investigate whether Shi Yong could be another transmigrator. The king and consort Yu enter the hall laughing and acting unusually close to each other, instantly making the other women jealous. The king puts on an arrogant performance, reciting poetry in front of everyone, before Yu announces a special game. Every woman is given paper and a brush and asked to write something. Yu carefully examines their handwriting, believing that poor handwriting might reveal someone from the modern era. They are also asked to draw pictures, but the results are so strange and inconsistent that Yu still cannot determine whether Shi Yong is truly from another world. Suddenly, the king stands up and loudly declares that none of them seem to possess any remarkable talent. He then points directly at consort Yu and orders her to perform a song. A pipa is placed in her hands, and the king warns that she must sing a song he has never heard before. If she performs a familiar song, she will be executed on the spot. Yu is instantly terrified because she has no idea how to sing. Just as she begins to panic, Shi Yong steps forward and respectfully offers to perform instead, claiming that she knows how to play the pipa. However, this is exactly what the king and Yu have been waiting for, because they secretly hope that Shi Yong will walk straight into the trap they have prepared for her. Shi Yong then takes the pipa, but the moment she holds it, both the king and consort Yu notice something strange. Instead of holding it like a traditional pipa, she holds it exactly like a modern guitar. That single detail immediately confirms their suspicion that Shi Yong is also someone from the modern world, because people from ancient times would never mistake a pipa for a guitar. A moment later, Shi Yong begins performing a song called Jasmine Flower. The song is from the modern era, and she cleverly chooses it because the king had demanded a song he had never heard before. Since she assumes the king could never have heard a modern song in this ancient world, she confidently performs it. However, her plan only makes Yu and the king even more certain that she is a transmigrator just like them. At that moment, Prince Dewan finally returns to the palace after spending years guarding the border.